Last night at 6:35, we received the biggest threat we've ever received from our closest friends and ally, from President-elect Trump, that they're threatening to put a 25% tariff on all goods coming across the border into the U.S. and Mexico. What I found unfair about the comments is to compare us to Mexico. And I can tell you, Canada is no Mexico. We do approximately, just Ontario alone, $500 billion of two-way trade. I found his comments unfair. I found them insulting. It's like a family member stabbing you right in the heart. I spent a lot of time in the U.S., and I have yet to talk to one American that has any issue with Canadians. We see drugs flow from Mexico, coming up through California, in through BC, into Alberta, into Ontario, and what we need to do is take that threat seriously. I had a conversation with the Prime Minister after he spoke to President-elect Trump last night. The threat is serious. We need to do better on our borders. We need to give the resources to CBSA, which are fine people, and I know, talking to other premiers last night, that we will do everything we can as provincial governments and territorial governments to secure our borders. There's over 2.1 million Mexicans and other nationalities coming across the southern border. Compared to Canada, it's over 197 million, which is unacceptable. When it comes to drugs, 1 ounce of any illegal drug is 1 ounce too many going back and forth across the border. 1 illegal going across the border back and forth is 1 too many illegals. We've experienced, for instance, Roxham Road, over 35,000 illegals coming up through the American border on just 1 illegal border crossing. We need to do everything we can to tighten up our borders, to strengthen our borders. And a message to President-elect Trump: there's no closer ally, there's no other country in the world that has stood shoulder to shoulder with our American counterparts, our friends, our family. It's an insult to the 900,000 Americans that are living here in Canada. It's an insult to the 9 million Americans that wake up every single morning to produce products to ship up to Ontario alone. We hear the message loud and clear. The Prime Minister confirmed today that we're going to have a First Minister's meeting tomorrow at 5 p.m. We need to make sure that he has a strong plan to protect and secure our borders and make sure we address the threat from the U.S. But again, we're the closest allies and friends the Americans have. I'm proud to stand in front of our flags of Canada and the U.S. I'll always be proud. I'll be proud to call thousands of Americans and millions of Americans our closest allies. And just a reminder to the American people, yes, it will hurt Canada, yes, it will hurt Ontario, but it will hurt Americans. It will hurt their economy when 9 million Americans don't wake up to produce products for Ontario and Canada. And we want to work together. We are stronger together. At the end of the day, there's no two closer allies, more of an open border than Canada and the U.S. And I want to emphasize, to compare us to Mexico is the most insulting thing I've ever heard from our friends and closest allies, the United States of America. We want to work together, we will work together, and we'll resolve this problem.